For OG, it's going to be coming down to the calling for Aleksib if we're starting to see him really reading the game well, making the right calls, and I think mantuu just needs to get a little bit more involved, right? We saw how much ZywOo was doing towards the end there with the AWP in play. I felt that mantuu was very, very quiet in that first map of Dust 2. I know that Nuke certainly isn't very orb prevalent, but a great opportunity for him to start coming alive in this series at such a crucial moment too.
Well, CT start for OG. Let's see whether they can try and back in. Vitality getting in with the utility on ZywOo, throwing so much out here towards this A bomb site. The incendiary is going down already. Aleksib with a smoke, Julies. No kits in for OG. I guess you can try and see if we can take the semi-automatic weapons and do some damage to the Vitality side as time presses on. Valde faces, does not see contact, does not get any kills. And shox will start leaning up with the Glock here, looking to enter into the A play. There's one player in the back of the site, that's ISSAA, with one headshot and no more than that. Aleksib will chime in, but he's also going to get dealt with. It's a 2v2 trade, 3v3 retake.
Vitality actually dropping down towards the lower side. They had complete control of A, but instead they've decided to drop to lower, and now they're going to have to face off against an even slower rotations coming through over towards the ramp entrance. Nivera, the late lurkout from lobby. Good shot comes in from valde. An opportunity for ZywOo and Nivera to try and work together. Bait play coming through from behind, and now mantuu is the last one left to try and clutch together. 1 versus 2 coming out from decontamination. While it doesn't have a kit in play, just the armor and the USP. Looking up towards the left side and right side entrance. Good tap comes onto ZywOo, gonna try and pretend that he's sticking the bomb, try and draw him out to the open. Nivera just not peeking. Super well played here out from observation. Finally, the tap comes through, but mantuu is actually gonna be able to win it and get the bomb defused in time.
If he had the kit, he could have stuck the whole 5 seconds without being challenged by Vitality, given the closed plant position that he had to deal with. But he does win the round regardless for OG, kicking things off fantastically here on the CT side. And if there's a side that we need to see go well for them, I think it probably would have to be CT. Obviously, with how rated the CT side is just in general for this particular for this particular team. But as well as that, historically, Vitality haven't had great CT sides on this map. So we need to see a good CT side coming in from the OG side, and then that probably could gear them up to try and take this second map away. It's a great start coming in from them, but of course the force back comes through from Vitality as you would expect here. We've got the auto shotgun in from NBK. RPK will be tagged up early towards the outside control. Vitality still out to the red box.
Attack coming through from that scout of Apex, but a lot of damage done over to the T side. mantuu, almost felt like for a moment he wanted to continue pressing forward. Aleksib trying to see if he can get some spam through. More damage continuing onto the T side as they try and make it into Garage. RPK incredibly low. Nivera on 30 points of health, and it's the nade to find the 5-on-3 advantage. Great start going into round 2 on the anti-eco for OG.
Yeah, 2 easy frags. mantuu is tagged down for his trouble, but that does overall come out on top for it. shox actually taps up mantuu. He's not ready towards that back line. Simple tap to the head, and M4 now being gained by the T-side forces. Now, where do they go from here? That bomb's out over in the garage position, so Nivera's got to peek out in the open. He's got to be supported by ZywOo as a result. Try to get that bomb back into a better position. If they can get down secret and get towards that B site, that would basically be an easy sort of round for them. But Nivera drops. ISSAA takes him down. All left to shox and ZywOo here. 4 versus 2. And OG cleaning house on the anti-force buy.
Yeah, ZywOo and shox, really not much that they can work with here. I mean, maybe just try and see if they can go and vent dive with that bomb. Maybe see if they can actually try and regroup together and take this up a bomb site. Jump spot coming out from ISSAA towards the back of default. Bomb being dropped to the lower bomb site at ZywOo, where there is actually no one here. So a chance at least for a bomb plant for the T side.
shox takes some damage, and now he's making money gains with Vitality for the real rifle round. As shox goes down, however, ZywOo with a hell of a clutch. Have seen already one big clutch here on Nuke so far today, but we will not see a second as valde finishes off the job, and the defuse will come through. Team ace for OG. Second one of the day, in fact, actually, overall. And yeah, all main rifle staying in. Shotgun traded up to an M4. Bit of a shame, actually. It's a very viable weapon here on Nuke. I like to see it in play, but regardless, 2-0 for the CT start. I don't think there's enough to buy back. Keep Vitality. They haven't done enough damage to justify it, so let's just see the eco come through and go for the full rifles.
Yeah, maybe they go Hero AK here for Apex, because I know that they've actually liked it in the past. But yeah, no point really going in for a forced investment. Half buy, 2,900 loss bonus with that bomb plant as well. It does help out. A little bit of util coming down for ZywOo. Some across the board for the majority of players. Bit of armor and some pistols. And shox. Come, mate. What's going on there?
Tagged up the golden boy. Oh man. How can ZywOo do well on 90 points of health? I don't want to do that, mate. Come on. Either way, Aleksib, not Aleksib, mantuu will do enough damage towards the outside control and just tagging those guys up with a spray down. Can't connect some frags together. Casualty-less start to the round as Vitality leading towards the CT entrance. mantuu backed up towards Hell. M4 ready to fall right back here. T-side players take that goal. They take some damage or could spray costing their lives as 2 kills come in for the T's and they make their way down ramp.
This is looking very promising out for Vitality. Oh, the lurk, though, on top of Heart is dealt with from shox, so it goes back to the 3 versus 3. Bomb is not yet planted for Vitality, but they have been able to pick up a couple of weapons, and now Apex finds one himself. Down to the 2v2, it's going to be on for ISSAA and Aleksib to try and retake, try and open up the double doors. No, not yet, but the T's start to go back in towards decontamination.
Apex falling back, M4 moving closer. Make his way up towards this double doors entrance. The CT is trying to back off. ZywOo watching. Apex also the same. Sees one contact player, can't take the frag. Sees them making their way away. Bomb out in the open. Apex is trying to deny this retake from here. ZywOo with the deagle up. Trying to line up the shots here. Forced on the reload. Now that's where the chance can swing for his teammate. Apex will only get damage done. And ISSAA can take the kill back. The bomb plant will be defused here by OG. Very scrambled from Vitality here on T side. I'm starting to question this pick here. I know it's very early doors, but it doesn't look as confident as it did on Dust 2. Not even during the early game when they were back and forth.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That 2v2 looked very chaotic from Vitality, didn't it? It almost felt like ZywOo had the opportunity of just trying to play out the time and jiggle peek from decontamination a bit more, but after that contact comes through from his teammate, he just starts wide swinging out and trying to just spam through onto the diffuser. There certainly was more time to work with there, I think. But look, it was only an eco, so they do get away with quite a lot. And now we go into the gun round. AWP up for ZywOo. AKs across the board for everybody else. And it's actually Nivera to find the opening kill. Now mantuu falling. Oh.
Following up on Valde as well. 2K for Nivera. He's up in, of course. Placing Masuta. ISSAA downstairs. We'll see players towards the secret control, but no contact will be established. No kills shall be found. Kill back on shox. Catches ISSAA next to standing in OG. And Vitality, well, it's all about the chaotic sort of defensive they've held together in this round default. These kills coming in and this setup here towards the attack to the B site has looked so much more confidently. That's more like what we want to see from this team.
Yeah, it's like Vitality picked up Nivera and just destroyed Heretics, right? Like, he was a really big pickup when he first came forward. He was a player that was like a little bit of a hybrid, right? We knew that Marker was the main AWP out on that French side. Certainly, Nivera was a very promising young talent. I suppose same could be said for Masuta, playing on the Make Your Destiny roster with Flexor, as some of the French players might know in the scene. Vitality, though, getting off to a very convincing round after just a couple of great entries in Nivera start off from ramp.
Start here for Vitality here on T side, opening things up. Now 2 rounds the difference between them and OG. Economy is a little bit limited for the CT side, but we should still be seeing the bike come through here. AK, M4, AWP should stay in. I believe there was one also dropped out somewhere in the spawn, and yeah, Aleksib picks that one up. shox towards outside, default set in. Nades on, ZywOo watching with the big green gun. CZ of ISSAA will be watching up from the squeaky door, expecting someone to make their way in from Marshmallow. mantuu watching outside. It's very carefully placed here by Vitality. I guess they've realized that maybe the more aggressive loose style has not really worked so well against OG, so take things a bit slower, a bit more carefully. Try and isolate the opening kill and work from there.
AWP outside from mantuu getting baited as they look like they want to try and swing in towards main. Only a tag onto ZywOo. Aleksib now looking to try and swing out from main, even with the flash blinds himself, but still gets the one-on-one trade. Oh, what was that from ZywOo? Okay, that is one hell of a shot.
mantuu was covered off by the box, so I assume he just predicted it and just flies straight through the corner. Something of that particular record. I hope we get to see that like somewhere else, but big play from ZywOo to a 3 versus 3. And without that kill, OG would be at the advantage at this stage, probably even more so to isolate the players back over at the garage position. 40 seconds for Vitality to act here, and they're stalling. They're just held towards outside. They're not moving at all.
Yeah, it's only going to be a matter of timing. You've got to think until Valde starts pushing forward from Secret. Well, that's where at least the T side are waiting for him. MPK starting to come up, and there it is. That's that peek out from Secret. All down to RPK now. 1 versus 3. They know exactly where he is. Does isolate that first pick to the heaven player, but needs to deal with the player on the floor. RPK now in a very winnable position. 1 versus 1, and the bomb plan's coming in.
42 HP from them. He's that tap towards Valde. Nade up to the back line. Is that going to catch him? No, he gets out of dodge. Does more damage, but Valde shuts him down. Grabs that orb and saves it into the next round here for OG. Well, that got dicey for a little bit. Plant will be defused, however, by OG. The clutch coming in from Valde. A great attempt from RPK. Vitality, despite their good training prowess towards outside, unfortunately, he couldn't deal with OG inside of the sites.
That could have been magical coming out for RPK. What an adjustment onto the player from floor, but down to just 5 points of health. Valde sweating in that 1 versus 1 up against him. But another round 1 from OG, getting off to a fantastic start, I want to say, on the City side. Vitality yet to certainly find their footing. And I remember, Jay, we had the chance personally of being able to cover Vitality versus Mad Lions on this map. That was a very one-sided performance in IEM Beijing for EU.
Trying to replicate that performance right here, but so far it's not working out. OG been at the front foot, and it's Aleksib B that kicks things off. Apex set to fall, and Valde realizes they're coming in quickly towards the B bomb site. We'll try and nade back and try to force them away. A bit of an awkward nade, all things considered. Smokes down, AK in, takes mantuu. ISSAA here towards the decon door alongside one of the other M4s. Can't quite find those frags. Aleksib goes down. Valde there with the trade on Nivera's part. Bomb drop there on a site. 3v3, making it 2-1. As shox and RPK find their players. And ISSAA left alone. The door's been opened. You can sneak forward. Look for heads. Miss the player in the back lines. Does not see that bomb. Realizes it's got to have been picked up and pushed back there behind this thing itself. Sees the gun barrel. Waits. Taps. Sees that kill. Sees that second head, but doesn't win it on ZywOo. And Vitality, well, again, awkward stances on that B side, but then managing to turn it back to their favor.
Yeah, they might have to force here, OG. We've gotten into a situation where we've gone back and forth now a couple of rounds between these two sides, and it's double eco status here for OG. The money's just not there. 1900 loss bonus. You've got 3 players under 2 grand, so maybe a lobby crunch in from OG. That's something we haven't seen from them. An aggressive approach outside with these pistols. We'll have to wait and see. MP9 coming through from Valde, but his pistol's out for everybody else.
Smokes on as the AK as ZywOo moves up. Nivera up towards this hut position. Sees one NBK with a dome down. Eagle on takes that frag and forces the last T-side player in lobby to go back. Grab that bomb and rejoin his teammates that are pushed towards the outside control. Again, Vitality loving the outside positions, but they're losing man advantages quite frequently. Even against these basic pistols, they are struggling against the OG side.
Well, they've got some deep map presence here, though. A couple of players trying to get in towards that hell position now. ISSAA is sort of at least pre-aiming that angle. Oh, even gets the pick onto Apex. There is a bit of a trade back, which is now going to force Vitality to dip into that lower bomb site, but there is a lot of CT presence here.
Five seconds as the AKs move closer, not ready for the player downstairs again. ZywOo will fall to a 4 versus 2, and OG have found themselves the advantage. Again, these upgrade pistols doing a good job. NBK in the back lines looking up towards this mini position and trying to keep his eyes on heaven. Vitality press forward unto dawn. shox will lead the charge with RPK wrapping around towards the hell position. This will waste a lot of time. They're going to run this timer extremely low before they get towards the bomb site itself, and it'll all be on NBK to try and deal with them here. So he can get any sort of frags back, and that might stall enough to get OG past the line here. If they take him down immediately, Vitality will have the best chance possible. So it all comes up to his position and this next engagement here. 15 seconds. Flashbang evaded. Nade up from the back of the squeeze door, dropping in. NBK gets one. Can't land a second. shox makes it a double, but now 1v2 retake for him.
Another clutch attempt needs to come through from Vitality. Molly out towards a heaven position. Try and see if he can isolate the vent player. All a bit of a bait, though, coming out from mantuu. I'm trying to see if we can just slow it down. shox now getting pushed further back in towards this hut position. Try to hope that the Heaven player runs out, hearing the player coming up for the vents, flashed over the top. shox would have been seen by the Rafters player or not. Still connects onto the shot, 9 HP. The spam's trying to come through. Valde gets close to connecting, and now a chance, well, I would say to stick the bomb, but he's got no kit, Jade. That's the big problem here. He's trying to force shox out to the open, and I don't think there's time for it. He's going to have to back off, just hold on to the AK. What a round to come through from shox. What a big clutch going the way of Vitality.
Well, despite that, that was not even a buy from OG. Those were pistols and upgrades. I guess it was a bit of a forced buy, actually, so I guess it probably could be a bit more impactful. But even so, very expensive round from Vitality, and they're not happy with it. Tactical pause being called by the T side. They have got the buyback here. OG and the same might not be able to be said towards them.
Yeah, they've got the AK in play, but, well, that's it. Ooh, getting to see this clutch again. That lovely tap on a ZywOo. It was just a great bait, wasn't it, to try and force Nivera forward? I mean, he played it pretty well out from observation, just to try and draw him off that, off the bomb to make sure he wasn't sticking it, just playing out the time. But some big plays going the way of both sides. You know, we saw RPK almost clutching a 1v3. shox now clutching a round in that last. We saw the pistol being a clutch. A lot of big moments from both sides, especially on this map of Nuke.
Valde quickly going towards the outside position, hoping to get that AK frag in on somebody, but no, he's forced to rotate downstairs as the T's make their way quickly into the vent control. The CTs read it, and they all just stack out as they see nothing in the outside of lobby positions. Decon door open up, they spray through, do damage to Nivera. That's a decent start of his own, right? Bomb plant can be secured, open for the double doors. And a retake staying into Vitality. OG managed to isolate and actually overwhelm the pistol numbers. ZywOo and Nivera caught off guard. RPK trying to hold on. shox gets the trace together. Makes it a kill for Apex as well. And MBK left alone in a 1 versus 2. And OG almost got it together against Vitality. Last player seen. Oh, shox. Yes, it was a pistol kill, but that's a very beautiful one tap. And in the grand scale of things, OG can be more happy than Vitality.
Oh, absolutely. I think certainly something we're seeing in this second map is OG giving Vitality a good run for their money, right? And we're seeing some of these rounds being very, very expensive. ZywOo faked out the first bomb plant, ended up making it to a different point, and they still kind of pushed forward to the double doors. Lots of damage coming through, lots of kills coming through from OG in a round where they really had nothing. No AWP potential into round 9. M4's across the board. Nade going up towards Silo does a lot of damage onto Apex to start off.
A couple of the nades placed here by OG have been absolutely fantastic, you know, and Dust 2 saw it a couple times coming out from them, and in that particular round, obviously, you know, Apex had the 51 straight to his face. Real good stuff coming in from the OG side, but they're unable to win the fight. Valde straight in against ZywOo. The kill comes in, he's on 6 HP. How did they let him get away with that?
Yeah, a lot of damage, but still the opening fight being won for Vitality, dropping down to the lower bomb site with just a mass amount of players. Already spotting the player out from observation. 1-for-1 trade coming through from Apex. ISSAA dropping down quickly from the vents, but remember, no kits in play here for OG. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for an instant save. Now they've got that kill, there's the opportunity, but shox still on alert. He can get behind them through vents.
Smoke on Incendiary, back, forcing the player away. ISSAA dealt with, that's a kill being found. shox backing up. You know what's Decon? I mean, the bomb's planted for him, obviously. Smoke down, actually. Gonna try to think and cross back towards the main backside position. Look towards the ramp control, which you can't really see anything from. MBK could potentially siphon him off and take down a couple of exits. Maybe get shox out here towards the stairs. That'd be a kill. Does get it together in the end. I think he'll just survive the bomb explosion. Yeah, 36 HP, keeps himself in check. Makes it an expensive round for Vitality once again, trying to take as much money away from them as possible. But they have not been able to defend the lead here. 4-5, Vitality. 1 up above OG.
Now, one thing to also keep in mind is that every single round OG have won, it's been a retake. So that also means that every single round Vitality have lost has been bomb plants. So they've been very healthy with the money situation, where OG, you can't say the same. We've seen a lot of ecos, a lot of half buys coming through from them so far in this first half on the city side. And yeah, you could be happy that the rounds are expensive, but you got to get rounds up on the board. Another great nade outside. You're onto something with this nade placement from OG.
Apex on 44, definitely suffering the worst of it, but Nivera and ZywOo also tagged. Of the smoke, Aleksib will look down, try and hunt for some T-side contact. Again, they're playing these rounds extremely slowly here by Vitality. In fact, they're not even going to control the outside position at all. They're actually going to retreat away from it, start playing back into lobby. Fortunately for them, no crunch is coming from OG, so they're not going to be able to counteract them. And Vitality can take this position back once again. They're playing cheeky off angles, MBK in particular here in the ramp room.
A fair bit information starting to come through from outside. And T-side just trying to see if they can use some of that utility, get that map presence. Something that we've seen, certainly ZywOo and Apex doing a fair bit, is getting Garage, Hell, even Heaven control at times. OG being very silent about the approach, but it's just a topside take, and not even any contact comes through. This could be a 5-on-5 retake.
Yeah, so focused on the ramp and outside control, that they can keep A and B completely open. Aleksib does do some damage to Apex, tag him to 11, but I don't think the retake is on for OG. Again, the firepower just isn't there. Yes, there's the Eagles. Yes, there's Kevlar. Not a lot of the utility that they can work with, though, and no kits either, so the best bet is to save the weapons, especially that AK, into the next round when you can afford full guns and fight against Vitality from there. The lead will extend to 2 rounds, and the Frenchmen have started to look really geared here. Again, the early game looking a bit sus from them, but it's getting a bit better, you know? Like, it's just periodically improving at this stage.
Well, they're getting momentum. I think that's really what's helping them. They've won, what, 5 rounds in a row now? While they haven't been massively convincing, they've been successful. Money's now starting to get to a point where it's really starting to bolster up on some of these players. They don't need to reinvest into anyone going into round 11. OG, I thought they'd maybe throw a little bit more in it, at least with the pistol players, try and see if they can find some exits, but they're quite happy just to back off and save. Reinvest an AWP into mantuu into round 11. Haven't really seen a lot of AWPing over the course of this map so far. The cities haven't really had the money for it, and Vitality have been, you know, just rocking these 5 AKs.
Yeah, it's worked well for them. There's no real need to change it up at this stage, not even for ZywOo. Maybe when they switch to the CT side, it'd be a bit more justifiable, but we've seen plenty of great T sides where they haven't bought an AWP once, you know, and it works well because the AKs are that powerful. They give you so much more versatility on a T side attack. It keeps Vitality as the favourites in this series. The odds of GG Bet definitely still favouring them. Well, I've gone a bit more one-sided, actually, I think. I can't remember what the odds were, but I think it was about 1.3 to the Vitality side. Right. 2.0 rounds up, and no casualties sustained here. Damage done to ZywOo, but that's about it here.
Yeah, not quite as chunky as some of the last rounds have been. Outside smokes coming through from the elbow cross. I'm making a little bit of sound, though, out from T-Red. AWP from mantuu doesn't quite see anything. Maybe try and see if he can get a bit of an edge in towards Garage, but needs to really look out towards the Garage exit to see if he can maybe spot out any players and open himself up for a great pick.
Up Heaven. Oh, what a flip from mantuu. Can't make it to, though. Smoke back to the left-hand side. Hands the man advantage for OG. A player pushed up so close towards him. Oh! Point blank connects to Apex. Caught off guard, but still adjusts for it. 2 frags untraded, leading towards the outside. Oh, mantuu! 4 kills. RPK is now alone. NBK will clean him up. What an AWP play for OG.
Jeez. All right. Well, that was one hell of a play. mantuu playing out towards the Heaven position on top of Hell, and he just finds so many connections, right? Even that first one's an absolute banger. Hits that no-scope up close and personal, and then the last couple of kills come in on some hard flicks. mantuu coming alive in a very, very important round to finally end the streak from Vitality, and that's going to take some pressure off their backs. What a display.
That was stupid. I mean, you talk about the lack of warmth there for Vitality. You wonder if they can pull something out of the hat like that. They're going much faster in this round, wanting to challenge that AWPer and take him out immediately. Little do they know that he's not even here. Despite that, shox swings on Aleksib, takes him down, and NBK will try and respond. Shox is low, so there is trade potential there in that. But that AWPer is nowhere to be seen. They can't find him here. OG have pushed him out to a different position. ISSAA gets a kill back on RPK, meanwhile in the lobby control. Falls back towards the squeaky door to a 4-on-4.
A lot of low HP players here. You've got ISSAA down, just 5 points of health. shox being dinked up by that M4A1S of Aleksib. Maybe try and get the wrap into heaven. A lot of players in secret, but just that single lurk in Nivera. AWP for mantuu, could be on for another one, and he does, gets the advantage back over for his team, but Nivera finds the trade.
Vitality keeping pace. OG moving up, Nivera on the rafters here, gets caught off by valde. Apex standing alone, mantuu with the AWP downstairs in the vents. The bomb plant can be received. He knows that valde can only press forward from the heaven control. He's got to drop down, give some information, but he suspects him to still be in heaven as opposed to the other side of the rafters. So it will be a retake and a defuse for OG. Well played last couple of rounds from them. Well, team coordination comes up good this time as opposed to the single AWP really shining. mantuu kind of repositioned there. You can see how quickly Vitality wanted to hunt him down, you know?
Well, look, it looked like for the approach that Vitality were just going to leave that late lurk in heaven and take some secret control and head lower, but it ends up that with a nice kill coming through from Nivera onto MPK, they think, right, let's just go back into a top site. ISSAA tries to stay alive for as long as possible, and then just rotates come in really quickly from valde. And the bomb plant comes in for Vitality to give him just a little bit of extra money, as it does look somewhat limited in the reserve. A very quick approach towards the outside. Nades tried to come through, but well, actually do a fair bit of damage to the ZywOo. Oh, the spam in response, though. Aleksib can't go any more aggressive now.
Forced to fall passive. mantuu instead with the AWP outside past electric box. Sees them as the smoke clears and gets another kill from this position. shox to fall. Has let the rest of the players cross back here, so not really going to enable a real good defensive. I think he'll know that's the case, though. So valde adjusts downstairs into the B site. He's the only player here, though.
Yeah, it could be the moment for RPK to have a bit of a strike, bring the advantage back, being the lobby lurk. If they can pull enough distraction from the lower bomb site, could allow a bit of an avenue out from ramp without really having to hard check too many angles. Man advantage up for the CT side, and valde's now starting to hit quite a lot.
Gets caught off guard, looking the wrong way, trying to play anti-flash, but constantly checking the observation window. mantuu with his AWP in. Did he see that player in the gap? I don't think he does. No. RPK holds RPK. mantuu going to get dealt with. Aleksib comes in to back up his AWP, so he keeps things together in a 3-on-2 scenario for the CT side. ZywOo backed up. Apex and the double doors can contest from the observation window. Might have to rely on ZywOo to play anchor as Apex takes the front face. He's going to be the player at decon. I can see what's going on here. Can't open up the squeaky door just yet. Two players make their way down. Tap on the bomb. Swinging a hit from ZywOo. He hits them both. And Apex closes out to the other side of the site to claim 7 and defend the lead here for Vitality.
Jeez, what a post plant coming out from Vitality. ZywOo and Apex, I mean, not really playing together in the sense of where they're positioned, but just peeking on each other's contact, opening up that single door, and then Apex does the same out from double. A couple of great kills in from ZywOo, Aleksib on low HP, and Vitality take back the lead rather than a tied-up scoreline. OG, it almost feels like on Nuke, Jay, that as soon as they get a good round or a good couple of rounds, there's just a strike back from Vitality.
Yeah, every single time, you know, like OG, other than the 4-1 that they had a little bit earlier on, they haven't actually had a lead above Vitality. And this could enable an opportunity for the T-side counter-strike. ZywOo straight in with the AWP. First time, second time it's come out for him in this half. And does strike on mantuu, shut him down immediately because they realize how dangerous he can be. Meanwhile, outside control established by RPK. Nicely outside, he's looking for the squeak door, and Aleksib had no idea. Exposed to that position as he overextends, gets the kill and falls right back. Vitality getting his 2 kills, being completely unscathed here. ISSAA will find 1 trade back, but the AWP of ZywOo is so ready for him to peek again. Gets 3 from valde. Well, he will find 1 to respond, but now they can adjust against him. Even ZywOo just shuts him down with the AWP pick. Makes it a quadra in this round, of Vitality will claim the heart for 8-6.
Yeah, the big man's getting hungry. He's getting hungry. He is wanting frags. Great NWP display coming out from ZywOo. And, well, for OG, like, they heavily invested into that last round, obviously, but it's going to have follow-on effects because they don't convert. You have a look at what they're bringing into round 15. I mean, you can't even really call it a rifle round, more an SMG round. Well, at least limited rifle round, you could say, right? I mean, 3 for Masters, 1 SMG of that MP9 and the M4. No kits in play, limited with the utility set. They've have to work with what they've got, but it's certainly not a lot when you compare it to the T-side line. At least they do find that opening pick, and they've done further damage onto Apex. That's a good start.
Flash in, SMG burst through for Aleksib, tags Nivera to 40. An RPK. Flash out as the T-side make their way downstairs into the ramp control. Apex leads the charge. Tag up on Nivera could hurt them. Apex is also pretty low. Flash in, smoke down, sprays through's awful. Nuke catch valde. Nivera somehow staying alive, but the same can't be said for Apex. ISSAA takes him, and ZywOo follows suit back on Aleksib. 3 versus 3. CT is crawling around the position here at default, and they denied a bomb plant. They'll spray through back on the one RPK. He gets that kill to return fire and gain the man advantage for the T side. Is still lurking with the smuggler, peeks out, sees 2, gets them both for now, can sit the defuse as mantuu gets ZywOo initially in the entries, and OG can claim 7 to close out the half and close out this moment. We head towards a short break, and then it's them on T-side.
Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this, yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they all say. They think we're out of control, yeah, truth be told, we know it, it's just the way we live, we own it. Cause that we love the thrill, we know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We love the thrill. They're looking at us, an audience. Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this, yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they all say. They think we're out of control, yeah, truth be told, we know it. It's just the way we live, we own it. Cause that we love the thrill, we know it. It's just the way we live, we're grown-up kids. It's just the way we live, we know it. It's just the way we live, we own it. Cause that we love the thrill, we know it. It's just the way we live, we're grown-up kids. We're grown-up kids.
No. Yeah, gotta go. Up, 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up. 1,000 miles of luck. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just a dust.
Well, once again, OG have kept it close, but Vitality are still in the lead above this team now off to their CT side. And can OG look alive to keep themselves alive in this general series? They're going to need this map. They're going to need this T-side half to go well. And after the pistol round is where there'll be P250 utility on Aleksib towards outside, straight default pistols and Kevlar for Vitality. They're going to win this on headshots alone.
Yeah, Vitality not really getting too much information so far, but for OG, it's looking like it could just be a split towards the A side. They've got a little bit of outside control. Made smoke now starting to go down to get them more presence. That's going to try and lock out ZywOo as MBK just comes flying into the smoke.
2 kills on him. RPK finds 1 trade. shox desperate to get a headshot. Only gets the tags from heaven and goes down for it. Nivera, last man left here. 1 versus 4, 1 point of health, and yeah, well, he's out of this one. OG with a big pistol, much like how they did on Dust 2 to defend themselves in this situation. But much like how they were able to lose on Dust 2, we could see exactly how well that went. You know, they got the pistol conversions, and you know, they're kind of like very echoing of the first half of this map as well. You know, those 4-1 scorelines, then Vitality came back. Could be very similar at this stage. They have to try and avoid that. So they've gotten step 1 on their ladder. They need to get steps 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, what a beautiful pistol round from OG. Great timing, right? And even Nivera getting hunted. I mean, he's only on 1 HP, so he's going to go to any kind of bullet. But you see the way that Aleksib puts down that main smoke, and then there starts to be a little bit of pressure in terms of footsteps coming in from hut to the top side taken. ZywOo's playing out from main, and his attention, just for a moment, gets sort of pulled away towards Squeak Door and out from hut, and then that's the opportunity that MPK pushes through that smoke, ends up finding a couple of kills. Yeah, we see a bit of a whiff from shox in heaven, but overall, that was really well played on the timing for OG, and it grants themselves a pistol round in which they don't actually bring a lot of rifles forward. It's actually mainly SMGs into round 17.
And there goes out for the Vitality side, of course, trying to force the issue. It's ZywOo straight up and out. Damage done to the majority T side. Forced ZywOo doesn't hit his shots. So now it's all left to shox. RPK sneaks in the backline, throws a bit of disruption back in there. They might not be ready for this player on ramp, actually. OG, Molotov so focused towards the hell position. shox has not gotten a chance to strike just yet. Sees the head, takes 1, no more than 1 though. ISSAA with a trade back, 3 on 2 now. As SMGs continue to face up here towards the B side. They'll get that bomb plant in because Vitality are nowhere to be seen in lower.
Yeah, it might just be a save attempt, I think, here for Vitality. It's a force buy, and just no one's in rotating positions. You see Nivera was able to push quite aggressively into Squeaky. And Apex just caught off outside, so hold on to these weapons, bring that Scout and Deagle into the next round, hold on to the Kevlar too. While it was looking like it could have been a good setup out from ramp, especially with the undetected element of shox, it was the certain weapons for the T side to just overwhelm and continue the man advantage. Good money being made too, when you think about that OG really brought, what, 4 SMGs into that round, only that 1 AK, which is going to be kept in play from ISSAA. OG now take the lead, and it's been a while, Jay, since they've had a lead, so they've at least started things off the right foot in the second half.
Yeah, like I said, other than that 4-1 lead, they haven't taken one at all above the Vitality side. Now Eco to try and extend it to 10-8. Best possibility for them again, trying to see if they can build up as many rounds as possible, try and put some distance between them and the Frenchman. It was during Dust 2 where the distance was nowhere near high enough for them to try and take the map above Vitality. You know, when they get going, then they can look locked on, and you know, it's partially down to a slow start again in this half. Half plays in from OG to try and catch them even further off guard, knowing that they have been a little bit slow so far. Can't take any frags through though, just damage done to Aleksib, minimal done to RPK. Vitality backed up with a scout just looking on towards the ramp entrance. Parts of weapons between each other so that way the SMG stays on Aleksib.
Yeah, OG very passive going into round 18, being very slow and methodical with those outside smokes, and not really making too much noise at all considering they're slow walking. Bit of a stack coming into the lower bomb site and coming out for Vitality, and they've even got the scout there, as well as the pistol of ZywOo. OG need to be careful they're not running into any kind of a stack, because now there's 4 players at B.
Mac 10 raring to go here in the vents. Won't know about it here with Vitality. They have got a heavy B stack though as the bomb makes its way downstairs. This could be a very interesting dynamic to this. Essentially running into the stack here of the Vitality side. Upgrade pistols in tow, you aren't force bought. The RPK gets Aleksib, not ready for that one. Now here they act. 2 traders, valde and mantuu trying to hold control. They do isolate the players back here. They don't get shox though. 2 kills for him. valde makes it 2 of his own, and the scout's all that remains. Apex dig down. 20 seconds. Molotov drives him away from the left-hand door. And valde expects him to peek in from the right. Will plant down for Toxic. try and force Apex forward, try and get a quadra to make sure he maintains control. He has no idea. Apex,
Oh no!
up towards the rafters, stuck right past him, and he gets that kill just about in the end. 10-8 to the board. OG just about keep that round together, but for an eco, that's a hell of expensive.
Yeah, give him a pat on the back there for Valde. He really brought you out of that situation. And look, I think that for OG, it was just misinformation. We saw Aleksib was just slow walking in towards the A-bomb site, and as soon as he gets caught off from RPK, they go, right, let's just crack into lower, and they're running straight into the stack. shox is able to get a couple of kills from rafters, but it's really Valde to bring that back with a Mach 10 out of all weapons. A very decent eco up for Vitality, but almost one that you'd maybe feel a little bit upset about that you didn't convert the round knowing the situation they had.
Yeah, and damn close to getting the whole thing together. Vitality. Well, back here, the Molotovs in. RPK will look onto the hut entrance, expecting someone from the T side to press forward and try to take them all down. So the AWP towards outside control. Molotovs into the secret position. Bit of utility being expended here to reveal the hand of OG for all intents and purposes. Vitality won't be in a position to respond just yet, but they can adjust, especially down towards this B defense.
ZywOo just taking a couple of pop shots through, not quite landing anything. Apex, another line of defense towards the lower bomb site. What can this HE find? Ooh, placement is perfect. Ooh, lots of damage coming through to the T side.
That's going to be a yikes. OG not happy with that. Got to press forward with it regardless, though. Apex, unfortunately, can't run up the headshots and capitalize on the kills. That Molotov may burn several players close to death. At least Aleksib will be on 33. NBK will pull to the AUG. Does take a headshot back to the smoke. shox can turn it back to a 4 versus 3. AWP back towards Decon, dealt with by ZywOo's AWP instead. And now 2 standing for the OG side. Doesn't land that player past the smoke itself. Valde watching and waiting and moving up with the AK. One player close. Sprays awkward. Connects it on the first man, but not the second, as it's a fold in the interim. It's Vitality that take the 9th.
There's just no money here for OG. You've got 2 players on double eco status. I mean, did they even think about force buying, right? Because mantuu and MPK just have no money. It might have to be. Let's see what the approach is here from OG. Do they just hard eco? Buy coming through. Nah, it's going to have to be a force. Get that Galil forward for Valde and just crippled the economy. And that just shows what that eco previously was able to do, and then a gun round conversion of what happens now to the buy from the T side.
Yeah, CZs, P250s, Mach 10 and Galil, by comparison to what Vitality have, it's not far. They're going to have to go fast in towards this one and try to see if they can shut them down. RPK gets that first kill. ISSAA can trade it. Nade up to the rafters. Will bounce back towards the default plant position. Valde will get tagged up. And ZywOo lands on the Aleksib. Nice and easy for him. MBK alone here towards Squeak Door. Will find only 1 frag for his trouble. OG can be happy with a bomb plant, but there was a force buy, so it might not bolster the buy up coming into the next round.
Yeah, look, I don't think so. Like, maybe if they get more kills, then I can see the potential for a reset for the CTs, but with 2 kills and a bomb plant, it's not worth it. And I think Aleksib realizes that just half buy, get a light eco going forward, 2,400 loss bonus, you can buy down to, what, 2,500, 2,000, depending on how low you want to go. I know that ISSAA's got a fair bit of cash, but then maybe he's thinking about getting an AWP over to mantuu in that next round. Yeah, maybe that's the call, considering he's just on a Glock. Vitality, though, I'm getting flashbacks to Dust 2. I know that the scorelines are slightly different, Jay, but just the way in which they were able to take control late in the second half. Oh, again.
Not a great nade from Vitality. We talked about OG's nade placement. Well, Vitality are doing them one better, it seems. Only a handful of rounds for this one and landed 4 HEs on center of mass. Nivera and RPK locking down the defensive. ZywOo gets involved at the last frag, and that is a cleanup from the CT side to regain the lead above OG. Now it's time to be scared. If you're an OG fan right now, buyback is coming through with Vitality. So close to map and series victory at this stage. The buy-up will see the AKs and AWPs to headline it, but they absolutely need to get this round.
Yeah, they do. This is where it gets vital now. And Vitality, what a strong crossfire being set between the upper bomb site floor players of both Nivera and RPK. Yes, it was just anti-eco frags, but convincing at that. mantuu going super aggressive up towards Team Red with the NWP, and with the flash over the top, ZywOo's caught into the open. A great find going the way of the international squad to find the 5-on-4.
Great assist from Aleksib. ZywOo had his hand up in front of his face. He was fully blind by that one. All the time in the world for mantuu to get that kill, and of course he capitalizes on it. shox has the AWP picked up, however, getting back to that position. Does he realize that there's players in garage? He's focusing mostly towards the outside, tagged up to 1 HP as a result, but he backs off towards hell and looks onto the ramp control. So, great work by OG in this round to get that kill and force them off angle, tag heavily on the CT side. But Vitality have some wins of their own. They're up here towards lobby control. They pushed in to deny that part of the map for OG.
As soon as they aggress up from T roof, I think that's where valde cuts them off. I think he may have heard 1 or 2 of the footsteps from the lobby players. They're now starting to make a little bit of noise as they back off. So valde is going to call out that info. Looks to be an A split coming out from OG. With this outside control they've got, maybe try and get a couple of players into main. valde now clearing out lobby. 35 seconds left on the clock though. They've got to get a bit of a move on here.
Time's running up. All players are unscathed. No reason to play scared in this one. Just go confident against Vitality. 3 players to the site. Warp in before shox takes that one frag. Nivera lines up 2, and shox gets 2 of his own. Looks back towards heaven and makes it a triple on 1 HP. OG couldn't trade out the player that had 1 point of health. And Vitality take 12 because of it. OG losing a very critical round.
Look, they run the clock down and they just don't have the info, right? Like, they don't know how many players are in that upper bomb site, and that crossfire is just locked so solid. As soon as that AWP just on the outside of hut takes the connection, that now opens up the play for Nivera from closed vent to just crossfire together. shox and Nivera just doing so much damage between one another. Another eco's got to come from OG, and they're just losing the opportunity when it comes to these rounds. 12-10 up, a 2-round lead for Vitality, looking to go 13-10 up.
Smokes down on cross, 2 T-side players make their way out. ZywOo with the AWP in, hoping a blind fire. He got close a couple of times. He tried that in the previous rounds, but not to be this time. It's ISSAA with his deagle down on Apex, edge of the smoke, catching off that secondary kill. And now that's 2 found for OG. They make their way onto the B site. shox is alone. Oh, they're going to check rafters this time. Aleksib gets caught upstairs. ZywOo with the AWP, draws the attention away. It's easy for shox. NBK finds 1 response, but now he's sandwiched between the 2 remaining CTs. 1 from vents, 1 from ramp. And he goes down towards vents. RPK with the kill and a 13th for Vitality. OG. They're not even taking a tactical. It's Vitality calling the timeout. It's OG that should be thinking about tactics here.
Yeah, I think as soon as that pause came through, I was like, oh yeah, OG. No, it's actually Vitality. Have a look at this AWP display again from mantuu. Jeez. Up close and personal with Apex, the flick on the shox. Oh, I want to see another one. I want to see another one of those from mantuu. And I think OG probably want to see one of those as well, right? Not finding it easy in the second half. This was a retake.
It's coming in. Yeah. This is retake that really sent up OG and gave them momentum going into this T side, but that momentum is petered out. Vitality currently in control. The AK's back in for this T side though, and they need to find something here. What do they need to do to break Vitality? Because the confidence has returned for this CT side, and even being a man down, OG are unable to get some pretty basic kills against them. They are pressing towards outside. Look at how Apex wants to go. He gets a kill on ISSAA. How has he allowed that?
Yeah, they're playing with a lot of confidence now, just getting pushed in outside, 4v4. OG just even a play with a nade out from ISSAA. It's just something you wouldn't expect at all, and maybe there's even a bit of movement now. Look at how aggressive the approach is here from shox and ramp. We've also got RPK somewhat aggressive in heart. Topside Exy looking to come through from OG, but Vitality might have the goods to try and continue pressing forward.
Oh, ZywOo catches a small pixel on mantuu as well, shooting down. NBK next to go out. shox wins against Aleksib. valde Alone towards outside, bomb in full CT control, and OG have just been ripped apart once again. Looking like we might repeat how things went down on Dust 2. As Vitality are just inching their way closer and closer to match point.
Yeah, they're starting to lose it here, OG, and I think it's a perfect moment to take a bit of a tactical Vitality, so much more of an aggressive approach going into round 24. Not only do you have that outside play from Apex, but then you've got shox pushing into Trophy and then further pushing in towards Lobby. RPK is doing a very similar thing. ZywOo gets a great shot outside, very deep in, well, almost CT spawn outside of Hell. And back behind the orange box, and, well, Valde has just got to save onto this AK and just hope that no one starts to swarm forward. 14 rounds now up for the French, and every time we see another round and another good round for Vitality, it just feels like OG are just getting further and further away of even thinking about map 3.
Four rounds the difference. AKs, AWPs, AUG, and M4 for Vitality. Their setup is perfect. OG still have a Mach 10 and a Galil in for this round. And what will be their last stand? And they can get a bomb plant to bolster up a force buy, but it will be a force buy. They need to win this. Else Vitality will be looking to move forward out of the opening match and through the upper bracket. Default staying towards a secret control. Apex going to challenge him directly and aggressively. Slight gap in that smoke that you can try and abuse. Made to his position though, they read it. They can't get much damage done.
Yeah, OG are almost having a bit of a fake, it looks as if, towards that lower bomb site. Maybe trying to see if they can scramble the rotation, see if they can hear the footsteps of one of the hut players going down in towards events, as an example from out from Squeakdoor. Using a lot of this utility and not really gaining much with it. Apex being forced further and further back now out towards observation. Boost coming through out towards decon, but just no angle being found.
Down to the last minute of round 25. Vitality holding their standard positions, ready to deal with the upcoming T hit of OG. Nades up, flashes over, here come the drums, and here come the headshots to spray through from NBK. SMG turnaround as tag damage comes in from shox and main, but he gets dealt with. And OG take the site confident and cleanly. That is what we need to see from these guys. I said they needed to take this round, and they've done so with probably the most flawless take we've seen from this T side so far.
Jeez, those entries from MBK were just disgustingly quick. Both RPK and Nivera just didn't even have a chance, right? It just goes down onto half HP. It was really Valde and Aleksib to take the majority of the crossfire damage, but it was MPK to find those entries, and what a way to put pressure back onto his ex-teammates, but to get an 11th round in such a convincing fashion for OG. And I really feel like they needed that, right? Like, it's been, what, 6 rounds in a row now for Vitality. We've only seen a couple of post-plants, but that was one that was super convincing, and it just helps. It helps to take a little bit of pressure off. You know that you're still on the back foot. You know how strong the economy must be for Vitality. So as soon as they lose a couple of players, they go, oh, no, we'll just instant save. I mean, there's no point even trying to risk it. Like, don't waste our money that we've got. We've worked hard to get to this point. We still got a lead. Let's just buy back in the next.
That lead may be tested. OG need to find a follow-up. That's been their one consistent issue throughout the course of this entire series. It's been following up their victories. And if there's a moment to break that cycle, it would be right now. Aggression coming in from one player out in RPK. They're in that position, and they do isolate the kill. Mantuu takes that frag. Nivera spraying blind past the smoke. AWP ZywOo's back in a sight, gets one frag, but he's dealt with quickly by Aleksib, and the plant is secured. 3v3, however, trades good from shox back on Aleksib himself. So retake coming in from Vitality now.
Yeah, they might as well try and go for this. Mantuu making a little bit of damage down into the site itself, but shox being flamed through. MPK now starting to find the crossfire, and Apex just has to save. Another great top site Exi, and for OG, I mean, 3 times a charm. I'm kind of wondering to myself, how many more times are we going to see these top site plays? Because, well, the last couple of rounds they've done it, it's looked very promising. The flashbang's been great, the utility's been there, the entries have looked sensational. And Vitality have still got enough money to be able to force the buy back. I even wonder whether they want to go for another AWP with ZywOo. If OG are just continuously going to try and rush, maybe it might be better just to get 4 M4s out.
Well, 3 tacks now called by Vitality, their 3rd one coming in. Lost her a little bit. Still have a buyback in the tag though. 11 grand for ZywOo, obviously going to forward with whatever he wants to. Probably can drop some weapons for his teammates. It looks like that'll be the case. Right, a full set to utility. Kevlar, maybe lacking in helmets, obviously, against OG. You have the AKs and the AWP still set in. But is this the start of the comeback? They got 2 rounds in a row here, Dweg. They've managed to find a connecting thread in the latter part of the game, in the closing few rounds. Can they turn it into a lead? Can they turn it into a map win? All these questions and more are answered in round 27 as we get to the defaults. How do OG play this?
Well, it doesn't look like they're going in for another topside take, that's for sure. And mantuu with the AWP waiting for a bit of an aggressive move. I mean, RPK has certainly been, I don't want to say hit and miss, but has been occasionally pushing forward into Heart and having an aggressive approach. Nades coming through from shox up towards Trophy, but it looks like it's the majority outside play from OG, maybe trying to go for the outside smokes, try and get some deep control in towards Garage, or just go straight in towards Secret. ZywOo, what a tight angle being held from Hell, but he's completely blind. At least they've got a teammate in Secret. Ooh!
Oh, a nade down into an Aleksib taking significant damage. mantuu also taking some damage of his own right. A minute to the clock here. And ZywOo sees one, but doesn't connect the shot, does not connect the kill. Flashes in, catching him off blind. They see him escape towards CT, and they decide to back off as a result here. Utility coming down to try sitting against some more map control, but the T's are pressing in against him now.
Yeah, they're all stuck out from Garage, and it's a 1-for-1 trade to start it off, but there's a lot of information going forward for the CTs of what the play is. ZywOo tagged incredibly low. A chance maybe for OG to start the lurk out towards the top side. That's what Valde's doing, trying to get out of Squeaky.
AK at valde squeaking up, creeping up, getting out of Squeaky to creep up and get this kill on Nivera. But ZywOo strikes back at Aleksib, dealt with by NBK. And now it's 1v3 for Apex. Back down in the B site, just opting to not even bother with this one. OG coming back in full control now. And Vitality wondering what to do now. Now they're the ones that try to figure out how to break the momentum of their opponents. They're the ones that are within touching distance of losing it all. At least they have that map to fall back on, so we'll have to go to a 3rd if plausible. OG now back up on the buys. Do Vitality force it? I don't think they do.
No, I don't think so. Like, it's a big call, right? I thought that maybe if they held onto that org, then maybe they would have forced. But with that peak coming in, we're now getting to a bit of a situation where OG have got the opportunity of tying up the scoreline. What a comeback this has been. 3 great T rounds in a row. And Vitality do not have a lot to work with. There's already a vent dive coming in for Aleksib.
Smoke down. Once again, the diagonal smokes that have worked so well so far for OG. They've been replicating these consistently every single time. Gap in them, though. Nivera pushes forward. Okay, this will get real interesting. Tapped up, sprayed through. ISSAA takes him down. Plenty more CTs towards the outside, though, to deal with. And NBK deals with them in hole. Not worrying about any CT forces. The upgrade pistols on the half-buy don't do jack. And shox, well, what can he do from here? Probably jack the say. 1v5.
Yeah, look, they went for an aggressive approach and it doesn't pay off. Simple as that. And Vitality put a lot of emphasis going forward towards outside, and OG just there in numbers. Valde, ISSAA, MPK all finding kills. shox his best chance is to maybe see if he could deal with the lurk. Could be a chance of 1 kill, pick up an AK and just save onto it. That's actually pretty decent. OG could just get that bomb plant into the lower bomb site. And for an eco round, while they haven't done a lot of damage, to get a rifle saved in, you'd be pretty happy with that one.
Nonetheless, an AK for the CT side. $14 all for OG. We are on for the comeback, Dweg. They just need 2 good rounds in a row. And they will have this map. Then we will be off to overpass. As shox loses that AK, they lose the crux of the extra firepower. OG keeping 4 players alive. Of course, they'll have no money troubles going into the last couple of rounds. And the buy comes in for the CT side.
Until they use that last tactical, they've got, what, 1 left, I think, from both teams. Vitality investing into the AWP for ZywOo, M4's out, AUG for RPK. A decent amount of utility and kits as well. OG, though, running a great momentum train. This has got to be, what, 4 rounds in a row now on the T side for 14-10 down. Aleksib going fast out to the fence position. Takes a lot of damage in response, though.
Lexi creeping past. Does manage to sneak his way down towards the vents control here. Gets that position, that was his main concern. 3 players back towards the downstairs position. And ISSAA gets Apex, opens things up. Now the B site's under OG control. Vitality are only just starting to get to retake positions as the bomb goes down. 5 on 4. Several times throughout the course of this map, they've been able to trade this back to their favor, but they're not going to opt to do the same here. They're saving weapons to carry into round 30. Vitality want OT.
They've got no choice. That lower bomb side just comes in so quickly. Aleksib takes a fair few nades to start off his approach out from Squeak Door, but it's not even him in the vent dive that's the most impressive. It's how quickly they get into secret. ISSAA getting a great opening kill, and with no one really there towards a lower bomb site outside of Apex, no one in rotating positions, they try and come in from ramp, but as soon as that util goes down, they just go, nah, let's just save. ZywOo gets a bit of a exit kill, but they need to hold on to all of these weapons, and shox falls. That can certainly make a difference going forward. One of the 3 players alive is going to have to drop over a couple of M4s, but OG have done it. They've got to 15. What a result already, and now the last tactical is being used here by Vitality.
The last hurdle for Vitality is just to get to that match point, and they just can't cross it. They have 1 more round to take us to overtime. And OG at this stage now, they are the ones in the driver's seats. Final tactical called, right moment to do so, I'd say. Dropping those weapons, as you mentioned here, the AWP still on ZywOo. He passed off an AUG for somebody to pick up. But map point for OG to stay alive in the best of 3, take us off to overpass. The next 2 minutes may decide all. And OG decide to take a tactical just to make sure they're confident with their call. This is their first tactical in this map, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't think that, actually. But, yeah, that is a good point. First tactical, you've got to wonder as well, like, how Vitality feel in this moment. They really look like this game is done. Like, seriously, when you're up that kind of a margin of rounds at 15-10, you kind of, or 14-10, sorry, I should say, you're kind of looking at it and thinking, right, all we need is 1 round, we'll break the economy, we're done. And OG have, played some really good CS. Their entries have looked great. The utility usage has been on point. See some really good calls coming out from Aleksib. But now it gets crucial, because you've done the hard work to get to 15. You've now got to just go 1 step further to take it in 16-14, because if it goes into overtime, that's when I think the momentum gets lost by OG.
We'll carry this forward right here. Vitality. The map control here on towards the A site. Nivera has taken a little bit of damage. Those Molotovs put up early. Him and Apex tagged up. Not low, but still tagged. And again, that could be the difference maker for OG. They need 1 round. A single solitary round, and that will win them the map here against Vitality. When they were looking so confident on the French side as well. Carefully positioned. Carefully placed for the executing towards the A site.
Yeah, Hot Molly coming in from mantuu, just trying to hit that upper bomb site. You can already see there's a player out towards the upper rafters and from height itself. OG playing the silent game. Get that utility waving through and just see if they can run out. I mean, it could even be a fake to get a ramp take.
That might be the call here. It's all going to rest on ZywOo as a result. That AWP
Oh!
lines up the collapse, and Nivera cleans up Aleksib. Valde and NBK have the rug pulled out from underneath their feet. 30 seconds to recover this against Vitality, and Valde's going down. NBK got the bomb on his back to 1v5, but it's calling for overtime. Vitality are calling for more rounds. Nuke will not stop here. OG are going to have to fight for their lives just a little bit longer as Team Vitality take us to full distance.
Voices in the distance, we are here. We keep holding on, dust till dawn, fighting. When the water rises, when the world burns down, we will stand together. We fight forever.
Embrace your destiny, slay your enemy, raise a legacy. No more apologies, trust your abilities, gather the energies. Pull yourself back together, been staying off track forever. Child of the nation, will seek redemption, time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory, time for history. Reverse the tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come, you're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, go pack your bag now, keep your feet on the road and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, 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 out. Stand up, up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black.
Welcome to the War Games, the war of attrition that may look to play out in front of OG and Team Vitality. We're set for OT here on Nuke. For Vitality, it's to close the series. For OG, it's just about survival and taking us to a third map, and they are giving it their all here, Dwayne.
Oh, they really are. Shox outside, trying to see if he can take an immediate duel. Nade comes up. What a play that was from ZywOo to get them to overtime. The lineup coming throughout from ramp. And now for OG, you wonder, does this really start to sort of stampede their all momentum swing from 10 to 14 down, bring it up, 15-14 in the lead. Vitality find the answer, and now things get very, very quiet. OG tried to fake the upper execution and go ramp in that last round. Re-smoke out from Squeaky, but someone's already got out from there.
IPK up in the rafters, flashed in, keeps him blind. The engagement invades on Nivera, almost taking him down. Eventually they do get that kill. RPK in position, though. Checked out, sprayed through, they take him down. shox can find a response here, but needs to find a bit more. NBK takes him down before he can do. Apex drops that bomb, allows ZywOo to rotate into the back of the site. 1v3, connects on his first man, flash out. The bomb still here towards the A play. A wraparound's coming in from Valde. And they've got to slow this one the hell down. ZywOo's burning as well. The AKs could still win this fight if they can just get the first shot off against the big green gun. And time is a ticking. They're going to rest so heavily on this backstab.
Yeah, it comes down to a matter of timing. If ZywOo checks it, he doesn't at all. We saw that for a moment. He was actually pre-aiming up towards heaven. But look, great round out from OG. Some really good entries. ZywOo trying to stay alive for as long as possible from the back of default with the AWP. But just quite not enough. OG starting overtime on the T side with a round victory. And Vitality buying back in, get that AWP back in. Double AWPs actually coming through from shox as well.
ZywOo, look at the AWP straight up aggressive. Look at how close he was to get towards the T-side line. Oh, he takes out ISSAA. That's a fantastic start. Nivera follows suit on Aleksib and then forced to force forward. OG losing mantuu next. No trade found. More T-side players being seen. And ZywOo becomes the anchor for Vitality to decimate OG. All 5 players alive by the end of round 2.
Jeez, he plays with a lot of confidence, does he? Fast in towards that hut position, gets that first pick onto ISSAA, and from there, Nivera's backing him up superbly with that M4 out from Squeak Door from main, and then from there, just even peeks in for a little bit more after that molly goes down. The 16-16, what a response out from Vitality. What a confident round coming in for the Frenchman. OG, again, to sort of continue up onto that point, Jay, fighting for survival, already a map up into the series for Vitality. The winner of this will be facing off against Liquid, who just 2-0'd FaZe in a convincing fashion. So a lot resting on this matchup right here.
shox watching for a presence towards outside. Nobody will be seen. Diagonal smokes up as standard. Flashes go over. shox repositions to get on top of the boxes and try hunt here. Top of the garage area. Sees 2. Takes out only 1. Almost thought that was the collateral, but no. Apex closes in on mantuu back towards the T-spawn. He's managed to get his way all the way behind the OG side, so they've got no more access towards the lobby control for all intents and purposes.
I can't believe Apex is in T-spawn right now and even wins another fight onto ISSAA. So much damage coming through from Vitality. And now Valde and Aleksib need to bring back a 2v5. There's another player now on T-Roof. This is ZywOo trying to say, oh, you know what? I kind of want to get a little bit more involved on the action. They know that they've got bomb control. Aleksib's trying to wait for an aggressive peek. Valde now falls. What a round for Vitality. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere.
One great site take followed up by 2 confident rounds where no players with Vitality fall. Aleksib will try to get some trades together, but realistically he's fighting a losing battle. Gets that 1 frag, and at this point, so long as 1 CT player stays alive in the backline, then we're going to be fine here, and indeed we are. 17-16, Vitality dominating their way through the first half of OT, Dwayne, and that was just absolutely manic from them.
It was a good momentum swing, right? We saw them on the back foot towards the end of that second half, and then sort of out of nowhere, we start to see plays like this. ZywOo just pushing forward. AWP plays over and over, and then Apex just pushing forward into T-spawn for that last round. We're seeing some wild stuff coming out from Vitality, but it's convincing, and that's the big pointer.
2 away from that victory, much like they were at 14 up. OG need to bring this comeback together and try and win it here on the CT side. And look at Vitality, look at how quick they want to go. More pin for ZywOo, watching for position, and RPK isolates ISSAA, overextends, gives up the ghost. That incendiary misses as well. And the CTs can't stall Vitality from here. shox waiting towards outside for someone to peek him. And Vitality in the lobby control, they go quiet.
Yeah, it's a great start coming out for shox to find that opening man advantage. And now, you just kind of wonder here, what do OG do? Like, to find the advantage back, do they start to maybe push forward and get a little bit more aggro? NBK start to get a bit of information out from Squeaky. Ooh, bad main smoke, actually.
Not going to capitalize on it, though. NBK hears them rotating back down towards the B-bomb site. Here they come, RPK against valde. ZywOo can't take the kill as RPK steals it with a triple of his own. And upstairs, shox cleans up 2 more. What a round from Vitality, and just like that, all it took was a push to OT, and it would get them past the finish line, it seems. 18 match points, series point, 2 rounds for OG to double up in the overtimes. Now's the time to show up, if there ever was.
Oh, absolutely. And look at the numbers being posted by shox too. 35 kills and 23 deaths. He has really started to claw this back for Vitality. And OG are on the brink of, after doing so much, Jay, going down at the last hurdle. Mantuu outside, missed AWP shot, and shox just wide swings. A great advantage found for Vitality, but a massive mistake out from OG.
After Mantuu hit such crazy shots on his CT half in regulation, missing that one might be the start of the fall for OG. It's an AUG for NBK, top of the hut, looking down on the hut entrance. Can't see any T-side forces. Vitality are just back passive. They've got that opening kill. They don't have to force the issue on the CTs anymore.
Yeah, they're at the advantage for sure. Very silent too. Vitality is starting to make it boil a little bit. Starting to go in for the outside play, bringing everyone over from this T-side, and well, it's going to really come down to ISSAA, right? He's the one playing out towards the secret position. Aleksib getting more information, but it's going to come down to one CT in particular, and it's against 3 kills. A massive play towards a lower bomb side, and he may have just brought this round back from OG.
Seeing RPK as well, calls in the information for his teammates. Gets out of dodge, now allows the likes of valde to take presence. AK up for RPK though, gets those 2 kills. Bomb on his back. He's separated these 2 CTs that remain now. Can go for the plant down towards the site. He's gonna hunt for the 1v1s. Almost catches Aleksib. Now up in the vent control. They're both down towards the decon entrance. He's gonna go back towards upper. He's actually told them for a fast one. Now back here, isolates one player, gonna try to take this fight. And 10 seconds, goes for the safe plant instead. Has to get it down here towards A.
Doesn't quite get around the silo, unfortunately. If he went a little bit further, he would have had some more safety. But look, a really great attempt coming through from RPK to bring that round back. But it really was ISSAA in towards Secret, Jay. What a hold coming out from him. Vitality already with the advantage going in towards that Secret play, and ISSAA gets 3 kills. What a hold on the defense.
OG clinging on for life. Very reminiscent to their Summit series, where it was the second map in that particular match went 28-26. And if they have anything like what they had in that last matchup, then, well, this one could still be on for a second OT. Double off setup from OG. AK's on 2 players saved. M4 in for Aleksib. Going towards the outside, but they're going to go play fast inland, it seems. Well, actually going to play on the silent position, go towards the outside mini area. Aleksib just against him, they're dropping straight in against Man. He gets that 1 kill, Mantuu falls. RPK doubles up, and he just gets the kill. 1 player in the backside, NBK lines up 2, only gets 1. So now it's all valde, 1v3 to clutch and save OG. And it's not going to happen. Nivera gets that kill, and Vitality take it 2-0.